Hello, everyone. Welcome to the I Love You Man podcast. We're glad to be joining you once again on our podcast channel. I'm here with my brother Seth, just like always. He doesn't miss an episode. So we got him here behind the freaking scenes, pulling up anything we need, but also contributing some really good and insightful conversations to the already insightful conversation. So we're just going to actually have to jump right into it today because we kind of are in a crunch for time. I'll say I probably spent about 2.5 hours just setting this up. I had my guest arriving 2.5 hours ago. Yep. And he's been here just being a great guest, honestly. I gave him some watermelon. I gave him some water. I let him smoke anything he needed to, keep him occupied. He rolled himself 2 joints. But we're here with the incredible Aaron Avalos.
How's it going? I'm glad to be here.
Really glad to have you, Aaron. Really glad to have you.
It's going to be a good time, I feel like, honestly. I've been looking forward to it, for a very long time, honestly. Glad we're running this.
Aaron's been on the pod before, right?
Aaron has been on the pod before, Seth. The problem was we had some issues with his audio. So Aaron tried to use some old iPhone. AirPods.
No, they're new AirPods. They're my roommates. We had set it up. Everything was solid. I was telling stories. It was a good time. It was a laughable moment. But, I mean, you told me it was like, it'd be like, I'd be having a great conversation. It'd be like, completely cut out.
God. Hey, but we're just getting better at this every single day. And that's the whole thing. The cool thing about this is a learning experience. Every time you guys are watching our videos, hopefully they're looking a little bit better. We're just trying to make this as best as we can. We're just trying to lock this in. Like today, we try to have Seth figure out how to use his iPhone as a camera so we can get 4K. That took about an hour to figure out. And we decided, you know what?
We didn't figure it out.
Let's just leave him there. Let's just leave him in 720.
Hey, just another day.
So you're looking at Seth in 720, but one day you might be able to see
1080.
Yeah, 1080. One day you might be able to see him in 4K. And we'll figure that out and we'll let you guys know. Because you're growing with us, and that's what I'm glad about. I'm sorry about that, Aaron, that we had to cut your podcast episode, but I'm really glad that you're sitting down doing an in-person episode because I think the vibe's just going to be a lot better, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm here live. I'm glad to, I'm going to retell some stories for sure. I'm going to tell some new stories that recently just happened.
I'm excited.
Just because, life's pretty wild. It's been pretty wild. I mean, this is exciting already.
Okay. All right. So I want to try something new. I'm just going to have us kind of like Tiger Belly. I'm just going to say, okay, let's roll the intro. And then Seth is going to roll a song, right? And then we're going to pick up on the conversation. All right. So go ahead and roll the intro. So, Aaron. How's life been, buddy?
Multiverse.
Dude, it has been a trip for sure. I mean, it's been a long journey to be where I am right now. And it's like, it has been such a fun ride, honestly. I mean, I didn't go to college, so I was like, we're gonna follow Babe. Didn't work out with Babe, but hey, it's like you started couch surfing 10 months. Your parents hooked it up, got to stay in Pismo for 8 months rent free, And then I was working my dispo job, so it's like, shout out.
Let's stay there because a lot of people on the pod, they've obviously seen you on the 420 special, which is great. But Aaron's one of my best friends from childhood. Our mom and his mom worked at the same dental office. They were both dental assistants, right?
Yep, dental hygiene.
Dental hygiene. I think your mom was a hygienist. My mom was an assistant. She took X-rays.
Or assistant.
Because I think the hygienist is the one that cleans it.
Okay, yeah, my mom. Yeah, she's an assistant.
So our moms were dental assistants. Honestly, just really nice white ladies, just cleaning your teeth. Like they're great people. I'm serious.
No, yeah. I mean, God, we just have memories at that dental shop. Like
both of them found a nice Mexican man to marry. So they thought, why don't we put our kids together? So they came over to the house, and it just happened. It was just like me and Aaron just instantly clicked, and then Seth and your brother Alex
Yeah.
also just kind of clicked, and like we were just friends.
And like we really don't
Since
remember
then.
because like I don't remember like the first time us meeting.
Dude, like I feel like we were like
Because,
some
like,
of
I
us
feel like
we were
I think they were
unconscious of
pregnant.
even being
Yeah.
humans when we met.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
No, oh, okay.
Like, because like honestly, because thinking back at it, like I don't remember our
First
because
meeting?
I don't remember first meeting. Honestly, like I don't remember our first interaction.
I've seen pictures,
Yeah,
and like
for
we
sure.
look so
Young.
young that it might just be like we'll throw
Yeah.
up a picture because my mom has a good one.
Just youngins, just youngins.
Like in this picture,
Super
we
young.
look so young. It's like we might have not even
We were just
known
born
about
together,
anything.
dude.
No, yeah.
We were
Now
really
it's
born
been
together,
like
man.
how long has this relationship been? This like it's
I
over.
wa-
It's over a decade for sure.
It's over. I think it might be over. Actually, not 2 decades just yet. I think maybe I would say maybe at least 18 years, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we've known each other
I
longer
think longer
than we've not known each other by far.
for
Let's just say
sure,
that.
for sure. And it's like it's hilarious because just to see where we've been and now where we are. I mean, we weren't bad kids. We were never bad kids. We were just exploring the world.
Nope.
Parents
Yep.
definitely wondered what we were gonna do. I mean, in the life that we're gonna live, for sure. Definitely the path that we chose. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny that like the life that we've been living, because the reality that we've been living has been probably what they didn't even imagine. You know.
Yeah. No, I like that because I think you're right. Like we kind of had like a very unique childhood where we're like exploring outside, like just being outside for days.
It's funny
just hanging out with friends, just like kind of like if you've ever seen the movie like Stand By Me, like we had that old school American childhood. Like it was just crazy.
I agree. I mean, dude, I just think back, like it is hilarious to just kind of think back about like 10 years ago. We were just kids hanging out, right? And now we do drugs now.
Okay, no, we don't.
Wait,
For anyone listening, we don't. I don't. This guy might. He just dropped Molly.
Just
but
recently.
not me. Me and
No.
Seth are sober, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, not exposing Kev. Kev doesn't. He just smokes weed. He's that guy. And
Hey, I'll take some shrooms every once in a while.
do a little shroomies. Yeah, definitely. We've experienced that. Actually, first time going to UC Santa Barbara. Hashtag shout out Caleb. I brought mushrooms. Sorry, Mom, if you listen to this. I mean, not really. I told you. Actually, you don't know this. You called me the other day, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm experiencing mushrooms for the first time." That was a lie. Experienced it in high school with Caleb. And let me just say this: it was one of the best experiences. It wasn't like an over trippy experience for sure. Like,
Definitely more of a microdose experience.
yeah, for sure. I mean, just to let you guys know, what you can do with mushrooms is you can just eat them raw. What we did is we were just little savages with it. We just grinded them up, put them in shot glasses, and then put lemon juice.
Yeah.
So the acidic from
citrus,
the
acid or something.
exactly the citrus from the lemon juice would break down the psilocybin.
Yeah. So I guess it hits a little bit quicker that way.
Yeah, that's what we heard. That's what we heard. So we did
I'll
it.
tell you,
I think that's true.
this is not a recommendation for this because
It was rough.
right when I threw that shot back, I was like, I'm throwing up. Straight
Well,
to the freaking
that's the
bathroom.
thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. Is
Threw up.
well, that's the thing is when
Swallowed it.
remember when
Threw up again.
remember when was sitting on the couch.
Hold up. Don't mention name.
Todd was sitting on the couch.
Our friend.
And yeah, our friend, he was like, "Man, I'm kind of feeling a little nauseous." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm kind of feeling a little nauseous too." Caleb's standing up and he's like, "Guys, I'm feeling really nauseous. I think I'm about to throw up." He throws something in the trash can. He's like, "Fuck, I'm not going to feel anything now." Definitely feel something because we're in the room, we're in the dorm. We're like, "Man, what are we doing in here? We got to go and explore the beach. We gotta get outside. Santa Barbara is a beautiful sight." We go outside immediately. Caleb's looking at the grass. He's like, "Bro, I've never seen grass like this."
just a straight trip.
Exploring the world. I mean, that was the first time going to UCSB, and I would say it definitely changed my perspective on kind of experiencing what I want to experience in life. I mean, it's definitely been an eye opener because being from Central Valley, I mean, we just kind of grew up. We definitely grew up I feel like not like other Central Valley kids in the sense of like we went out and explored. Like it's funny because we're like 2000s kids. Phones were coming out and iPhone came out, you know, whatever. But like, I mean, we didn't get like a phone. I mean, I didn't get like a phone until like the 8th grade. You know, it was like I would see like my sister. She would use her like BlackBerry to text or whatever.
Yeah,
and like never really had an interest in it. So it's funny when I hear like, oh yeah, you're a 2000s kid. You don't
you're
know what
addicted to your phone.
You don't know what it's like to have without a phone.
He's addicted to his phone.
For sure.
He literally is.
Oh, for sure.
I am too.
I mean, but you're way better about it. You know, you have
He's
time
bad.
off.
He can't even sit in a conversation.
Not yet.
Not scroll.
But hey, well, we're
you're
doing
about to watch it in a podcast.
We're just experiencing it live, you know.
Hey, I don't mean to kill him like
we're
that.
Just
no, I'm
experiencing life through TikTok, through millions of people's lives.
It's this guy's TikTok having spasms.
One like at a time.
I'm like, oh my god. I was like, my hand's shaking. Like, I need to start swiping. No, it's like I agree now. Like I'm definitely more involved with my phone, but back then it's funny to hear that it's like, oh man, you grew up with like technology, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, yeah. I'm like, the Nintendo Wii came out, and I was like down for it.
Yeah, the Wii and the DS, we had that. But I'll say one thing:
that really had that.
We were still poor kids. We didn't have shit. Like that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like if you were poor, you didn't have that shit. So it's like I remember my friend Wyatt. He's been on it. He had the iPod, and I was like, that iPod changes everything. I just knew it. Like I knew he had something that was just crazy because he'd be watching music videos, playing these crazy games like Bug Smasher and like fucking Angry Birds. And I was like, he was texting people. And he had his own fake number on there. Because like, if you had an iPod, you already had a fake number. So now you're texting people, being like, I'm on the Wi-Fi right now, so what up? You know what I mean?
Bro, shout out Skylar. In 8th grade, she gave me her old iPhone. And
I got my friend Wyatt's old iPod.
She hooked it up.
He hooked it up as well.
Literally. And I'm like, and it's so funny.
Shout out Wyatt. Thanks for that, bro.
She was like, yeah, add me on Kick. You guys remember Kick? I remember texting on Kick.
Dude, I'm just getting hacked on Kick was scary.
Dude, oh my gosh.
You were a Kick machine. You were always on Kick, dude. Dude, you had a couple girls on Kick. I remember that were complete bots.
Oh, yeah, everybody did.
They were obviously bots, and he's texting them like they're real people.
It's like, I don't remember that.
Giving them money.
I think they're real.
Everyone remember those fake accounts on Kick. Aaron's the one that was replying to them.
Dude. My buddy, oh my gosh, replies to those babes on Snap. They're like, hey, look at me. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? He's like, yeah, but look at what they said. And I'm like, yeah, that's what the point is.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude, don't get hit with those scams because they just want you to buy their OnlyFans. They're probably not even real people, to be honest.
Nope.
Okay, but let's get back to the conversation we're talking about, us growing up. You know what I mean? We both grew up in the Central Valley. We're the best of buds. You know, we all have our own friend groups when it comes to school because we're all in different grades, right?
Definitely. And that's what's funny is like, even in high school, we hung out sometimes, but it wasn't like, even though we grew up together, it wasn't like, yo, we got to create one friend group in high school.
No,
it
wasn't like that at all.
We all made our own
we actually
homies.
did that. And literally, me and Aaron, we really started hanging out like towards junior and senior.
Yeah, it's hard,
remember that, bro?
And even in middle school, you guys had your moments.
Because we
started smoking.
Not in middle school. When you guys would do track together.
Yeah, we did track. We
raced. Dude, we did track together. Dude, every time me and Aaron were together, I beat
Seth in a race.
Dude,
because I made him laugh.
Dude, if we only had a picture, like, do we have a picture of that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Literally, dude, our coach was so pissed at us because we were just cracking up the whole way, the whole run. I was literally
just running, like Seth's beating me, and I'm like, oh fuck. I'm making so
dude, and I was just laughing at the fact of how Aaron run.
Just running up. And my dad comes out to the track meet. He's like, let me take a picture, boys. We'll put that up on the pod too.
Oh
We'll
man,
lay
if
it
we
out.
can find that
That's
picture,
what
I
I'm
would love
talking
that.
about.
Dude, so
That's
good.
what I'm talking about.
So you guys,
good.
when you guys are doing a real track race, you guys are just
Real-
laughing. your
Laughing.
There's like
asses
a
off.
dude that's like hella tall
Laughing.
next to us. Is
Actually
hella good
racing.
and shit.
So
Like-
there's people taking it seriously.
Oh,
and you
for
guys
sure.
are just
Oh, yeah.
laughing.
Oh
we
yeah,
we
People
took
taking
the
it
bus
serious.
there.
So what was it that made you guys
Yeah.
start laughing?
Well, I was talking. I was talking during the
Dude,
race.
just imagine being there next to each other on a track meet.
Oh my
Dude,
god,
there's no way
dude.
we're not laughing. There's
Just
no
like,
way.
cause I was right next to Seth, and we were like, even like getting up, I was like, oh man, about to get up right now. We're about to get this. Like, I'm just like narrating everything that we're doing, just like.
That's pretty funny.
And as soon as the gun went off, I started running, and I was just immediately kind of losing, and I was like,
And the way that Aaron runs is so funny.
I would
running.
say Seth would have probably won that race.
No,
Aaron
if I
it.
did distract him, for sure,
Yeah.
100%,
yeah.
100%. That's what he.
That's what's good about it. I love it.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude. So I mean, you guys definitely have had your guys' moments where you got hung out, but we never had like one group that we like would hang out in. You know what I mean? It was always like we would go and make our own separate groups and separate friends. But then no matter what, we were best friends forever. So
Yeah.
it was like we would
Hey, but
always
you
be
know, like,
linking.
Sometimes, like, we would have, remember that time that I think Aaron or Alex got so blacked out drunk at Wine and Trin? In the garage. You know, like
Yeah.
when
It
we
was-
linked
it
up
was
there,
me.
like there were special occasions where we'd all link up and it just be
No,
Yeah,
it
those-
was no. That's not what I'm trying to say. Is I'm saying
and it's like
No, in
always
high
had-
school.
We
in high
always
school.
had our group. Like we always had our separate groups, but we always had each other. We would never stop hanging out. It was always us hanging
for
out.
sure, for sure. Sorry, mom, again. Every time we were like, hey, let's go to the movie theaters in high school. I'm going with Caleb.
Yeah.
Just smoke.
Wow.
Just smoke.
Dude,
Just smoke so much. And then it would just
Like,
be like,
that's
either
why I
I
love
would
good
pass
movies,
out
too.
during the theater, and it would be a $25 like nap, pretty much. Like,
dude, I would always watch them.
yeah.
Okay,
There'd be
if
moments.
we're gonna, so we used to do that a lot in the Central Valley. There's not too much to do. So I'll
would
say,
you say when you guys were smoking weed back then in high school and going to the movies, were the movies good? Because like nowadays the movies are all right.
Do you remember when we watched Pirates of the Caribbean? We
So,
we
like,
first.
so
coming
this
out
is the
back
bad
then.
part is
When
sometimes
it
I
was
just
coming out.
won't remember any of
You
what
don't
we
remember
watched.
them?
You know what I mean?
It was I couldn't tell you what Pirates of the Caribbean, but it came out when we were in high school, and we showed up. We're like, oh, these are the receipts. We sit down in these seats. You're like, yo, go get some more butter for this.
This is exactly the story I wanted to tell. So I'm so glad that Aaron brought us back to this because I was literally going to mention this. I'm going to say like one of the big things that we'd always do to like continue to hang out with each other is we'd always go to the movies with each other. And we'd go to the movies and Aaron would always be smoking, but he'd smoke in the worst fucking ways because like he would go to the bathroom so he could hit his pen, right?
Moments.
This is one of my favorite stories. He would hit the
During
pin.
the movie.
Hits it, right? Somebody would walk in and he's like, oh, fuck, I don't know where I'm going to blow this because someone's. He doesn't go in the stall. He just.
What
I
an
was
idiot.
Wide open.
at the urinal.
So
Just at the
Aaron,
urinal.
so Aaron blows out a fat cloud, right? And he starts to panic, like, oh,
Because
shit.
someone came in, and I was like, oh my god, I got to get rid of the smoke that I just blew out. So in my head, my high brain was like, you know what?
Wait, were you pissing?
I don't think so. I think I was just at the urinal making it look like it, probably. Just in case someone walked in,
Okay.
And sure enough, someone walks in and I'm like, the smoke is in the air. So I'm like, oh shoot, let me just blow away this smoke. But I had more smoke in my lungs. So I'm like, when I blew it away, more smoke just came out of the air. And I was like, well, now I got to get out of here. So I hop out to the bathroom at the theater real quick. That was a moment.
So yeah, so Aaron,
That was a moment.
Aaron he would also be on like the very top floor, right in front of the projector, right?
Well, depend.
And
Well,
Aaron
that
would hit
day,
a pin,
I
blow it
bought.
straight up. You can see on the screen that there's fucking smoke in the air. You're like,
Oh man, It's like
that's funny.
coming back to the Pirates of the Caribbean like movie when we watched it. It was like I think I was the person responsible for the seats, and I was like, all right, Caleb, yeah, the seats are just right up here, and they're pretty solid seats, and we sit down.
They're the recliner seats.
Yeah, they're the recliner seats. So we sit down, get comfortable, and we have popcorn. And Caleb was like, yo, go load this up with some butter. And I'm like, for sure, go out there.
He's like, fuck it, I'm going to the hit.
Start whipping it with butter, right? And it's a paper bag. So like we go back to the seat, sit down, start gobbling. Right, just start gobbling on it, right?
Before the movie starts, just the commercials.
Yeah, just the commercials.
Monsters, I can just imagine you guys.
mind you, the lights are still on, so you can still see us clear as day. Okay, we're chilling. I'm like, oh man, I was like, oh no, Caleb. I was like, the butter's sinking through the paper bag, so it's getting all over the seat, all over the recliner seat. So we're sitting there.
He put so much butter that the bottom
just sinks through,
soaked with butter and seeped through, and we're just getting covered. Butter all over the seat.
Look like baked. Then
so that was after the urinal hit.
Then this old couple starts walking, and they walk straight towards us, and they're like, hey, these are our seats. And we're like, Aaron, and I'm like, oh
no, these are ours.
Yeah. You're like, you idiot. Those seats are in the front. Just a very front row. I picked a very front row to the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So we immediately we're like, damn, we gotta move to this different seat. We reclined back up, get up. We don't even talk. We don't really even talk to the people that came. We just kind of walked to our seats, right? We're like, damn, then sat down.
Just imagine you get up from your seat and the entire back is just smothered in butter.
Dude, smothered.
It's a leather couch.
So it's shimmering. It's shimmering. It's shimmering in the light. Okay. We're looking back. We're looking back up at them because they got prime seats. So we're looking back at them. The lady, she's just like, oh my God, there's butter everywhere. We got to go get someone to clean it.
We got to go get an attendant. Like, this was not enough that they could handle
That's an episode
themselves.
of I Think You Should Leave right there. That's an episode.
Sure enough, I mean, the person came, cleaned that up, but we were just like, damn.
And we were just sitting in our seats like this, just like hoping to not get in trouble.
How much rows in front were you guys from?
Oh, we were probably the very front.
The very front 2 rows, and we're just looking back.
We're just looking.
And they get a real guy. He comes out with the spray.
Yep. Sprays it down. Oh my God. Bad.
Yeah.
Fried moments. Back in the day.
But that's what you do in the Valley. That's why we weren't getting into trouble. Because we were just going to the fucking movies, dude.
Just literally going to the movies. It's like, I felt like I didn't even party in high school, per se. Like I didn't go to any like house parties. I was just vibing out with homies, and it was kind of always a party.
It was always like a kickback, always like a vibe for sure.
Definitely, it's what's cool about the friends that we met outside like our friend group. It's like those guys all vibe all together. I feel like
that's the cool thing about Aaron is that, and the cool thing about why we set it up this way is that I could bring Aaron to any of my friend groups and I know he's going to vibe and I know they're going to fuck with him because like we all kind of have a similar vibe to each other.
100%.
So they're like, oh, hanging out with Aaron is like hanging out with 2 Calebs, or like hanging out with Seth is like hanging out with 2 Calebs. So like we all have a similar vibe to each other so that when we go and mingle with other people, like it just feels like there's just more of us and it's more of a vibe. It's just cool. You know what I mean?
It was hilarious like hearing Jeremy one of the first times we were hanging out. He's like, man, he's like, you guys like all make the same similar joke. It's Caleb too. Like what? Like you guys are like, it's so weird. I'm like, yeah, we grew up together, bro. Like, what do you expect? And he's
from
like,
a young age, we were just doing everything together.
Seriously,
probably like saw all of the movies together from growing up. Like I remember there was a party. It was Seth's birthday party. I don't know if he was 10 or something, but it was a big one. And it was a costume party because Seth's birthday is October 15th. So it was like close to Halloween. everybody at that party showed up as Spider-Man. Seth was Spider-Man. You were muscly Spider-Man. Alex was Black Spider-Man. And everyone, I was Darth Vader, so I was the only dude that was different. But there was just like, we all just were on that same wavelength. We're just like, I even think Trenton might have been Spider-Man.
Dude.
And it was like, we're all on that wavelength of Spider-Man.
Shout out Spider-Man.
That was probably right after like Tobey Maguire
Spider-Man
for sure.
3
came
100%.
out. And we were repping, like, that was like,
because it was black and red. Yeah, for sure.
It was so sick.
Dude, back in the day. Dude, it makes me, like, I watched recently that movie Airplane. And, it's so funny because generally I try to stay away from watching, like, the older movies, not because I'm like, oh my God, it's old. It's more so like, I'm just like, damn. Like, I wish I was alive during that time when it came out, during that time frame where I could enjoy even more and not feel like, dang, this world has changed so much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my God, and so much has happened, you know. And just with this life that we keep living, right, it's super sick because, you know, we experienced smoking weed for the first time together.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
that
cool.
was a cool story. We already kind of told that story with Wyatt. We mentioned how we got the weed, how we found it on the ranch. He put it on the top of his roof.
Yep. Tried it out. Seriously.
And we had it. And I mentioned the fact that you made the pipe.
Yeah, dude.
And now you brought that to the equation, and we were set. And we had the entire components, dude.
It's like, it's funny because that pipe was like first a spoon, and it was like, I was like, my dad. I remember my dad coming in to my little like garage wood shop area because I would just first like really was into survival stuff, so I was like, oh my God, nature. Then like the survival guys, the survival guys are like, yeah, I can make a wooden spoon with a knife, and I was like, what? I was like, I got wood, I got knives. I was like, let me start woodworking, right? Started to make the spoons, right? My dad, he was like, man, you shouldn't make spoons. You should make pipes and sell them. I'm like, Dad, I don't smoke weed. I'm like, that's not me. Because at the time, like, it wasn't smoking weed. It wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It was just
Dad,
like,
I don't smoke weed.
Like,
I just like making pipes.
no, like I was making spoons. That's the thing.
I like making.
Your dad's almost like telling you, like, bro, that's a little weird to make spoons. Just make a fucking pipe and be normal.
Your dad's
like,
trying to get some culture in you. He's like, come on, make some pipes, you fucking weirdo.
Make some pipes and sell them.
Do something like a real kid would do. You fucking,
It's
you're
like,
weird.
what the fuck are you using that spoon? Like, come on, man.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, it's dude, to have a homie that has one of the first spoons that I ever made. And it's funny because I even made like a leather like strap, like leather like holder for it, like you wear it as a necklace. I'm like, dude, have you used this before? And he's like, yeah, I've used it in a big bowl of soup. I was like, no way. So it's like, it's real sick because the homie still has one of my pieces.
OG ones,
yeah,
dude.
legit OG. Like, I give all like the wood stuff, like woodworking stuff, kind of away. Not because I'm like I could sell it for sure. Like it's pretty good, but I'm just like, it is. It's more satisfying to give it to homies and just seeing that they're using it. It's so funny to just be like, oh man, yeah, I made this like badass thing.
Yeah, dude. I wish I had your Cali dab tool because that would have been sick.
That one was sick. Yeah, that one was sick.
That one was great. I should have had that one out. But he's a really good woodworker, and he's been since a kid. It's just been always something he's been interested in.
Yeah, but it's like,
where did that stem from? Just like Bear Grylls, or what was it?
So it was literally just like watching survival YouTube videos. Like I was like how to survive 10 days in the woods, or like just like how to start a fire with a bow and arrow and stick or whatever. It was like I learned how to do all that stuff. You know,
I remember this guy was obsessed with weapons, and he got a crossbow. It was so sick.
Oh my God, I still have the crossbow.
And I remember he told me and my friend David, and David's going to be on the show soon.
Shout out David.
And he said, yo, come over to my house and shoot my fucking crossbow.
No.
Like,
I said,
yeah.
no. I said, no. I invited you guys over. We were all chilling. David seen that crossbow and he was like, oh, dude, can we shoot it? And I was like, I don't know, dude. I haven't shot it in a while. Like, it's been a minute. And I'm kind of, we don't know what the accuracy on this thing is. He's like, what are you talking about? It has a scope. He's like, you just aim with the scope. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. He's like, yeah, let's just set it up in the back right here. we set it up. There's literally in the backyard at the house on North.
The house that was connected to the RVs. No, not sorry, the semi trucks.
Yeah. It was this section of grass, like, because we didn't want to go out to the fields, so we just did it in the backyard. And I set up the target right on the stump, and David was like,
Was it David that shot for real?
David was the one that shot this thing, dude. And I told him, I was like, probably aim low because we don't know where this is gonna hit. This guy shoots the crossbow, misses the target completely, goes straight through the fence, hits a parked car, hits one of the semi truck owners' parked car, dents the fuck out.
No, it's stuck inside.
No, bro. Because when we went there, it didn't have the bolt on it, and it also didn't have like it didn't have any of the fletchings. Like it was like a broke. It was a aluminum.
So it just made a like a dent.
Huge dent,
deep dent.
But luckily, that car was already fucked up. So it was already like it kind of looked like that shit had been there, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure me and David were just like, we're gonna get going, dog.
Bro, 100%. You guys were like, 100%. It was like went straight through. I was like, oh my god. I was like, you guys gotta go. I was like, I cannot believe this happened. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening to this. Yeah, this actually happened. And oh man, I didn't want it to happen. Didn't want it to happen at all. Told him to aim low. Shot straight over the fence.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah, but
that was David. That was David back in the day.
Yeah,
David was down, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, David's still down, bro.
Yeah, he's a great guy, dude. He's fucking down for anything.
We raced in the Corolla with David.
Against
David, and we went off
to the orchard.
Yeah, I was in the Corolla. He was in his mom's car. I literally flew off the road.
Went off the road. We all experienced it.
Aaron, you were there too?
I was there too. I was in the front seat.
It was very possible that we could have slammed into a tree.
For sure.
But it was just one of those ones like we just stopped just in time.
Yeah, it was like a long dirt. Like if we were probably going 100 for sure, you know. But we're zooming through.
And we were right next to the cemetery.
Yeah, definitely not good vibes. But we survived it, and I think we let David win for sure.
Oh yeah, because he started laughing as we drove off the road.
David was driving. Okay, you guys gotta describe the situation how crazy it is.
No, because it was like, yo, we were both at my house, and we said, let's race to David's house, or maybe it was the other way around, and we just
we were going past the cemetery. Yeah, we were going past the cemetery, so it had to be going to David's.
Yeah.
Because oh my god, yeah. So in the valley where we live, there's a cemetery that has like just a very like windy road. I mean, accidents happen on there all the time. So we were definitely being just dumb kids,
just dumb kids that just get their license and just say fuck it.
Absolutely, it was wild. Like Caleb was the driver always. We would always whip in the Corolla. Man, so many smoking memories in the Corolla.
Dude, my mom would always be like, "Is there smoke in the Corolla?" I'm like, "What? No, what the heck?" But I'm like, "No, there's not smoke in there."
Bro? You know what's crazy?
How can there smoke?
No, it's not.
It's so crazy because it's like our parents didn't have an idea because we're just such good kids, and that,
we weren't smoking that much, but yeah.
I don't know. We're smoking enough. We're smoking enough to, like. I mean, I think generally just because we're just good people, they're like, oh man, they're not doing anything bad. Like they're just into these things.
Yeah, it's like even before Aaron started smoking, he already had bad grades. So it's like it's not like he needed to have super good grades or anything.
Exactly. It wasn't like I was like a math whiz or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't realize that I was a little bit special until I was in 7th grade, and they put me in this CAP studies program. My teacher was literally talking to me like, Aaron, do you understand what's going on? And I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. All those times I got pulled out in elementary, it wasn't just for a fun class, like a fun little program. Like I thought it was like I would be learning in class.
Aaron became self-aware in 8th grade.
Bro, Miss Ellard, shout out Miss Ellard. She's the best. She's the greatest. She's my speech teacher or whatever. She would pull me out, right, and she would just be like, we would just have great moments, and basically storytelling moments, right? And it's so funny because didn't realize that was a whole like
So
ADD, ADHD program, you know?
She's reading Dr. Seuss to him.
I thought I thought I was just experiencing a different life than other kids, you know? Honestly.
You were.
Well, the special life, apparently, you know? Because when I got to 7th grade and, God, Miss Lowen, fuck you if you listen to this. I hate you still, you know? Just because we would be in the class, it would just be like, you have to read this page.
Right.
And then write about this page.
Reading
And,
comprehension stuff.
bro,
Okay.
it was just...
So were you telling stories in elementary school with this girl? Or she was telling stories to you?
And I was probably telling stories. So I was probably like saying
Maybe that's where the
most,
start of your storytelling stuff is,
well,
you know?
I don't know, dude. Maybe it's the ADD, the sped in me.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
it's like that. It's definitely why. I mean, I struggled in school because like it was wild too. By the way, I was on Adderall. Didn't realize I was taking Adderall. Didn't know that I was taking Adderall.
That's so scary to think that Aaron was just on Adderall for a couple of years. I just didn't even know.
Because that's the
And
thing.
he didn't even know.
I didn't realize what I was going through.
So you were like, what, did you think like, what's happening to me?
Well, no, I was just a kid. So like when my mom was like, we gotta go to this therapist guy or whatever. He was like this Asian dude. He was a cool guy, nice guy, but he was very broken English, and the way he was understanding or kind of explaining what I was taking didn't really make me understand it too well. So like he'd be explaining like, this is what Adderall does. It gives you a very like focus level experience. Like you'll start actually doing your work rather than just, you know, kind of being what you're doing.
So you remember the doctor telling you this?
I remember this. I remember he had a bunch of toys all around, and I had this stuffed shark that was just like a puppet.
One. You and
Bro,
the
and
avatar.
another animal that was like a puppet. So I'm like playing with these puppets, right? And he's telling me all this info. So I'm like being an ADD kid right in front of him, right? So he's like, we're gonna dose you like this, all right? It gives me the milligram dose, and my mom's like, hey, you gotta take this pill every morning. And I'm just
That's
like,
so fucked,
I'm just like,
Aaron.
all right, take a vitamin, right? Whatever.
Oh fuck!
It probably, I couldn't tell you.
He's like, for some reason,
I couldn't- I couldn't tell you.
He's like popping pillies like
Bro,
normal, man.
I thought, I honestly didn't like it. I was just like, I didn't know what I was taking for sure. So like when I had my next visit or whatever, he was like, so Aaron, do you understand? And is it working for you? And I'm like, no, not working for me, because I don't even know
what it's supposed
what
to do.
it's supposed to do, you know? So
This
I'm
is
like,
why
He's such a
Kids,
child. He's
listen.
such a kid.
kids cannot make medical decisions for them. Stop being a dumb parent and thinking that a kid knows what's going on with him.
Dude.
He doesn't.
no clue. No
So the
clue.
doctor ups a prescription or
Oh,
what?
ups the milligram dose for sure. And he says like, are you sure you're not feeling anything? I'm like, nope, not feeling nothing. You know, because it's like,
Aaron,
I was
this
just
is
going through
scary.
school, right? And it's funny. I didn't even realize it too, because it was like I wouldn't take them on the weekends. I mean, I just was like, didn't need it on the weekends, right? My mom was like, here, you need a fucking whatever. You're so out of control.
Yeah.
You're such an out of control ADD kid, which I wasn't. Like I wasn't like just like doing whatever, moving constantly. But I definitely wasn't staying focused, and that was like the concern. And I mean, it didn't help me in the sense of like, I mean, I guess it did make me focus, you know, but I didn't realize that's what it was doing to me. So it was like, we got to up the dose. I was like, yeah, I guess, like, let's up the dose. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, it's already a pretty high dose. I'm like, yep, it's not working for me.
And you're like 8 at this time.
Bro, I'm definitely, like 4th grade. I remember, I probably remember that's when I was on it like a lot in a sense, because I feel like 5th grade, we had Mrs. Cowings. Shout out Mrs. Cowings.
Mrs. Cowings is a great person.
Dude, you had Mrs. Cowings also, bro.
Yeah.
She was the best. She was the best. I mean, I love Mrs. Cowings. That was honestly probably one of the best teachers I've ever had, because she was just so involved with like getting the kids to learn, right? But I felt like too, I was probably on a very high milligram dose, so I felt like a robot. Everything I was doing was just like, I'm like, Mom, I don't really feel like myself taking these. Just like,
so you're being like,
I kind of,
you probably were in that stage for a long time until you spoke up, huh?
well, yeah, because I mean, I didn't know what these addies were doing to me, you know. It's like, it's so wild to think that like kids nowadays are like just doing pills like Adderall or like Vyvanse or like, you know, even opioids, because when I was in high school, I mean, that stuff was around for sure, but it never enticed me to do it because I was like, I could get that high off weed, you know. It was like I could just smoke weed to get that feeling if I want to be really dumb or zombie. Or it wasn't until like I got my job at the dispensary is when like I found out that there's so much more to weed. And it's like you know, you could really kind of categorize your day on like sativa. You could start off your day with the sativa. You could do your afternoon in the hybrid. You could do an indica for nighttime. You could do whatever, right? But like those words I even said right now, they really don't even mean anything. It's kind of like the genetics to the plants that you're smoking, and that's what's like a whole nother spiel on that. I could go into, but I won't because we're not going to be talking about marijuana.
But what you're trying to say is that kind of you never needed to take Adderall because weed kind of gave you the similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So was it a better effect? Did it make you not feel like a robot?
So definitely. I mean, it's wild in high school. I mean, obviously I didn't have the best grades in high school for sure. Like, I mean,
but you were also balancing doing sports.
Yeah, that's what was wild.
Multiple sports. You were also going to class. And you're also, you know, you had a social life and everything.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely kind of.
You worked on the summers too with your uncle.
Absolutely. I mean, it was. That's the thing is like being inactive wasn't the goal when I was smoking weed. It was just kind of like we were already in the state of life of just go. So I mean, when it came to school, when I was doing like just work for school, I mean, I would hate it so much. But I mean, just getting baked kind of just made me not hate school in the sense of like made me more love the social aspect of it rather than just kind of be like, all right, like I'm going to this next class and I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out because I'm listening about some dumb shit I don't need to hear.
So you're just I definitely get that. You got people that you can, hey, what's up, what's going on, you know, like what is this talking about, or just like, well, what's up with you?
It's like I've had so many I mean, there's definitely moments at school where I was too baked, you know. I mean, there's moments like that, obviously, and that comes with being a high school stoner or whatever. I mean, God, I'll tell you about this one time when I was with Wyatt. This is such a good one. I get a call from Wyatt early morning. It was like a Tuesday. No, it was a Wednesday. So we had a 2-hour block period. It wasn't like a late start, but it was the tutorial. So I didn't have any failing classes at that time. But he calls me up and he's like, "Yeah, let's let me pick you up and we'll smoke." And this is at a time when I think it was Alex and Seth that didn't even know that we were smoking. So it was like, he was like, "Yeah, let's smoke." I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I'm totally down." But my mom said that we have to pick up Alex also, take Alex to school also. Because I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, Mom, Wyatt's coming to pick me up." She said, "Okay, I have to take Alex also." And I was like, Alex really shouldn't come. Like, you should take him. Because just not trying to let Alex know, right, that I smoked at the time. And immediately, like, get in the car. I mean, Wyatt already knows the spiel. He's not gonna, you know, pass me a bowl or whatever. But he was like, "Hey, Trin, pack me a bowl." And then takes a bowl out of his bubbler. My brother's like, "Oh, what the heck, Wyatt? You smoke?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't know that? That's crazy." Like, what the heck? I'm like, yeah, it's chill or whatever, just
Wyatt's really open about it. He has
Yeah.
no he's not ashamed. You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah,
He's like, dude, this is what it is, bro.
yeah, for sure. And totally, I mean, he was it's funny because like Wyatt was like the inspiration to just keep going in the stoner route, in the sense of like
He would get all the cool pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
He had all the talk. He showed me what dabbing was.
Yeah,
like
never knew what dabbing
was. He knew
was.
like all of the culture shit. He knew about cookies being the littest shit.
Absolutely.
Raw papers being dope. Like he just taught us everything that was cool.
Yeah, and shout out YouTube. I mean, that's definitely where he learned it.
Dude,
it's
for
like,
real. He always would tell us about the YouTube channels he was watching.
It's like Custom Grow 420. Exactly. Yeah. Dude, it's crazy because just from that, right? That was that drive to school. We're just talking bullshitting, right? And get to school, Wyatt pulls up. Wyatt had still has badass like dual truck, or it was like a diesel truck. So it's like real lifted, dark tint,
super dope truck,
right? And our school was just setting up
tinted ass windows,
their solar panels. So I'm walking with Trin, my brother, and we're walking under the solar panels. And Wyatt was like, "Hey, Aaron, come back here real quick. Come check this out." And I was like, "Oh, for sure." I was like, "See you guys." I'm gonna go fly it real quick.
Yeah, we go with the cool guys. Later, dude.
And I go over to Wyatt, and he's like, "Dude," got the bull pack for you. I was like, "Fuck yeah, Wyatt!" I was like, "You're the one." It's first time ever hitting a bubbler in my whole life, right? So
wait, where were you? Were you on campus?
On campus, on campus in the parking lot of Singer High, and it was in the morning. It was early morning, but like the bell was just gonna ring. I couldn't tell you when, but like I could definitely say I took that bowl. It just got more like I was totally assuming that I was gonna work like a bong because I had my finger over the carb cap or the carb. So when I released my thumb and just inhaled, that just kept getting more and more cherried. Like it didn't clear the chamber that I thought.
You thought it was gonna.
Yeah. So I take a huge rip and I'm like, oh shit! I was like, that's way too much, and I just like blew out under the truck. So it just like looked like the exhaust, but it was stinky weed for show. And I'm like, all right, Wyatt, coughing, and I like dab him up, and sure enough, like I'm walking because I had this grip tape that I was gonna give to my homie. I wasn't skating at the time, but I drew like this like Superman emblem on the grip tape. It was super sick. Seeing him, and he was like, "Hey, Aaron, are you high right now?" I'm like,
"Wait, who was this again?"
So this is Anthony. Anthony. I don't think you know him. He goes by Xanthony now, but he's a singer skater.
Okay.
He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy for sure.
Yeah, he just knew you were high.
Oh, dude! Like I passed him. I was like, "Dude, here's that grip tape." And he's like, "Dope, dude. Thanks." He's like, "Man, Aaron." He's like, "Are you stoned right now?" He's like, "Are you baked?" I'm like, "Nah, man. I don't do that stuff." Because I wasn't telling anybody to anything, because I thought I was like any association to my brother, I'm like people will find out, right?
Right.
So I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody that I know that knows my brother also. And he was like, "Yeah, you look baked." I'm like, "Not me, man." Dab him up and walk away. I literally go to my friend group, and then Miguel, he's like, "Oh man," he's like, brought his hands up. He's like, "You're baked as shit right now." I was like, "Nah, dude, not me." I was like, well, like he knew obviously that I smoked at the time, but I was just like, nah, like just like playing it cool because I'm telling you, the high when I was walking under the solar panels, it was like this. Okay, I'm getting and talking to Anthony, and I'm like, man, this is a pretty baked high for sure. It's getting a little bit more ramped up. So when I'm talking to Miguel, I'm like, this is getting pretty good. Miguel says, he's like, "Man, you're pretty baked." He's like, I'm like, "Nah, not me." Bell rings. So I'm like, all right, sweet. I'll have
Just
to,
lying to everyone.
I'm like, I'll have to finish this conversation with the homie. So I immediately go, and it was my second period class with JD Javier Garcia, another kid that we grew up with. This guy, he is really good friends with my brother, and he was like, I for sure did not want him to know that I was
because he'll go tell Alex
for sure
immediately.
immediately. Like he was that friend, that he was that close of a friend. But I sat right in the middle of my other homie Jake, who was a big stoner, big pothead. He said, I remember the first day we sat down at the seat, just sat way in the back, and sit down, and Jake was like, yeah, guys, I smoke weed. He's like, I'm a big pothead. He's like, do you guys do any of that stuff? I'm like, nah, don't do any of that stuff. And then JD was like, nah, yeah, don't. JD gets up, and I was like, yo, Jake, I definitely smoke. I was like, I actually smoke hella. I was like, I smoke fat, bro. And he's like, really? And I'm like,
no, I burn.
I'm like, yeah, dude.
I burn.
I was like, dude. I was like, but you cannot tell JD. I was like, he does not know that I smoke. So he already knew this going in from the first day, right? Mind you, this is the year had already been going on. So like I when I walked in, fucked up, and I was fucked up.
This is like
pale.
first period class?
First period, no, so this is second period, but that 2 hour period, right? Faded. I walk in, right?
Do you remember what class it was?
It was what does Quayer teach? Social history, world history.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was experiencing, instead of like a high that was like nice and calm, when I sat down, it was a spiral high. Okay. JD gets up, and I tell Jake, I'm like, hey Jake, I'm really fucked up right now. Like I am the most high I've ever been, like for sure, by far. Like I don't know what to do. And he's like, are you spinning, man? I'm like, yeah. He's like, ooh, that is not good. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you probably should get a trash can just in case you puke.
Oh my God. In class.
In class. I'm like, oh damn, oh no. So my head's down, right? Because
so does that make you nauseous just to think of that?
bro, I was just like, oh man, like this is like I'm already burping like just green, like just like you could feel the weed burps. You feel?
Oh my
And I like my head's down, right? And JD's like, hey, are you okay? Like everything all right? I'm like, oh man, dude. Honestly, I think I have like food poisoning or something. Like I'm just like real like I feel just real sick. He's like, yeah, you look real pale. I was like, yeah, I hope I don't throw up. He's like, you think you're gonna throw up? I'm like, yeah. Do you think you give me the trash can just so I didn't have to stand up to grab the trash can? Like, because if I would have walked at the moment of where I was, I would have been walking sideways, already leaning, you know. So JD gets up, and he was like, yeah, for sure. Gets up, grabs me the trash can right away, and they have just underneath me, right?
So are you faking being sick right now?
Yeah, I'm faking like I have food poisoning. Off the marijuana though.
Okay.
And it was like I remember just kind of like passing out. Queer taps on my desk. He's like, hey buddy, you gotta wake up. He's like, we're doing this assignment right now. This is not a sleepy time. I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm just real tired. And just like pale, dude. I remember the bell rings. Mind you, it's a 2 hour class. Probably slept through most of it, right?
Okay.
And bell rings. My homie Alan comes up to me. He's like, Aaron, you do not look good at all. You look pale, bro. I'm just like, yep, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. And he's like, yeah, you gotta get some water in you. I'm like, yeah, I definitely will. Walking to my math class. As I'm walking to my math class, who do I run into? Alex. Alex grabs my shoulders. He's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he's like, okay. And walks away. And I was like, huh. I was like, he has no idea. I was like, this guy. I sit in my math class. Who do I have as math teacher? Substitute. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm falling asleep in this for sure. Sit by this.
So to wire it out there, he was like, yo, let me give this guy a hit before class. This is going to be fire for him. And Aaron's just going through hell during this
Doesn't
moment.
even know. Has no idea what I'm going through at all. Mind you, I'm not even able to text on my phone. I'm that fucked. Okay. So like when I saw that I had a substitute teacher and it was like, you could sit anywhere. Basically, like that was the vibe when you walked in. Like, so I sat by this kid who I've never seen before. I'm like, hey man, I'm fucked up right now. I'm so high. And he was like,
you've never seen this kid before?
Yeah, I don't know why he was in the class, honestly. I don't remember. He was like, yeah, I could tell. And I was just like, damn, dude. I was like, I'm just gonna sleep in here. And he's like, okay. He's like, you should do that. And I'm like, definitely. So I slept. Substitute teacher would come up to me and was like, hey buddy, you gotta wake up. I'm like, no, I do not. I was like, yeah, I'll finish the assignment by the time I'm out of this class. And he's like, for sure. Did not even touch that paper. That's how it was. I mean, honestly, like, until the end of the day, okay? Like, I hit water polo practice. That water refreshed me, rejuvenated me. That's when I told Wyatt everything. And Wyatt was like, oh my God. He's like, I had no idea. And I was like, yeah, fucked. Oh my God. So many pride moments. It's like, it was funny to tell, tell Alex that I smoked, because Alex was never really into smoking at all. Like, I remember I had a Flavor X pen, and this kid, he was like, it was an empty Flav, but it was a pen that you could still hit when it was dry. So this is late start. Also, sorry, Mom, again, because every late start, we would invite the homies and just smoke fat, okay? Every time, okay? Before a 2-hour block period, we'd just get plays. Yeah. Those moments of you getting phone calls from the school of why I was late, I just wasn't showing up. Just was not showing up. But that's just what happens sometimes.
Sometimes we get too high before school.
Wait, Seth, are you in 4K right now?
High school? I don't know.
Dude, you look really clear, man. Yeah. I can see the pores on your skin. Good. Look good pores.
Good.
Glowing. But Alex is hitting this display pen that's empty, that's still producing smoke. And he's like, oh, guys, look at this. I'm hitting blinkers. Literally, like, he's hitting blinkers with the empty smoke, but it's not getting, like, a full, like I'm, like, already just, like, thinking, like, I'm like, man, this guy thinks he's actually smoking. Like, I like, it's an empty cart. Later that day, I got a pen. It was like the Banana Kush from Flavor X, when they were called Flavor X instead of Flav.
Dude, luckily our dealer was legit.
Yeah.
Like, he would just go to the dispo, buy them, and then just sell them to us.
Yeah.
Like,
shout out Devin.
We never had to fucking worry about, we'll bleep his name because you don't fucking announce that shit.
I didn't say his last name.
And
fine.
He would just, like, we never had to worry about the fake carts. Like God bless. Like, literally, we didn't have to worry about those fake carts.
They were around for sure. I mean, and senior year, I'm ashamed to say this, but I definitely smoked one Mario Kart for show. Yeah, definitely bad.
Not the Mario Kart.
Yep. Or the dank vapes. I smoked a couple of those. Bad. So bad. Like, for sure, like, poisoning. But, hey.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh my God.
So yeah, dude, it's like you definitely got off that Adderall, and honestly, thanks for sharing that story, dude. Because it's like, yeah, you fucking were on that as a kid, got off, told your doctor, I'm done with that shit.
I was addicted as a kid. That's what
No, that's not what we're trying. You got off that, you freaking told your doctor you're done with that shit. Found weed eventually. That was able to kind of like help you get through life.
Yeah, what was funny is like I felt like weed was never. I mean, obviously, in middle school, I mean, I was definitely like, man, what the heck? Like, weed, like, this shit is, I'm like, that's drugs. That's bad.
That's like, a major difference. Like, back then, we still used to think weed was bad.
Dude,
bad.
I had a homie in 7th grade, also named Aaron, and he was a stoner already. And I was just like, bro, like, why do you smoke weed? He's like, bro, it's awesome. He's like, it makes boring moments fun. He's like, I honestly use it for everything. He's like, it's pretty great. I'm like, what? Well, like, what is it? He's like, dude, it's more than what you think. He's like, it's not like a psychedelic. He's like, dude, this guy's explaining weed to me, and I wasn't into
just middle
weed.
schooler to middle schooler.
Literally, it wasn't even into
just
it.
like,
You understand,
bro? Like, oh, he's just disgusted by everything he says.
Yeah, I'm literally like, well, no, that's the thing. He was my homie, so like, I didn't.
You respected it.
Yeah, I wasn't like,
open mind.
I wasn't like, oh man, this guy's a druggie, because he was a chill, super chill guy. he was like, yeah, it's called THC. I remember him being like, it's called THC because the actual word is super long and difficult to say. And I'm like, tetrahydrocannabinol. And it's like, if he would have told me that in middle school, I would have been like, yeah, what is that foreign language to me? You know, like that. It's just crazy to see where it's transferred to, because it's like getting high for the first time, like off an edible, and then smoking for the first time in the mountains off with a spoon that I carved with the homies, the best life homies. It's like, and now working at a dispensary, it's hilarious, because it's like, I wish I could see that homie again, because I have not talked to him since middle school, and just be like, dude, want to hear some shit?
Dude, that was me and Seth Warren had like a segment of like lost friends, where it's like, you sometimes just have the chillest homie for just like one school year, and like you never see him again. You know what I mean?
Dude,
and it's
shout out Mateo.
Exactly. You just hope that they're just doing well out there, and just like they're a chill person, so you know they're going to be meeting other cool people. So It's just like, just shout out to them, and like shout out to all the lost friends out there that like your best friend back in the day. Like I remember my homie Max from 5th grade.
Yep.
This guy just moved in because his parents lost their house during the 2008 recession. So he had to move to his like grandma's house, moved in the same neighborhood as me. We became best friends for the whole 5th grade. Then he had to move back because his parents had a new house. And I was just like, dang, lost my best friend. But those are great memories. Like Aaron knew him. Wyatt knew him. We all vibed with him.
Yep. Cool guy.
Cool guy, dude. So I just hope he's doing good out there. And shout out to, who was the guy's name again?
What? Mateo, I still talk to.
Mateo, no.
Mateo's not a lost homie, but he's definitely a homie that like I don't see often, because foreign
exchange student.
Out of nature, dude. This guy, he calls me and he's in Africa, and he's like, hey, he's like, check this out, man. He's like, I'm out this resort. He's like, see that fence right there. It's like, it was like a wire, just like a wire fence that you see like on like a ranch. And he's like pans over, and it's like a beach. He's like, that's a Prince's beach. He's like, nobody has access to this. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, see that shadow far in the back? I was like, yeah. He's like, those are where the Prince's walls begin, like to the castle. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's some medieval shit. And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, it's crazy. He's like, look, camels. Camels literally just walking by. I'm like, this guy's living a different life than most people. And it's like crazy that I met him, because and
So that was your junior year?
No, it was sophomore year.
Your sophomore year, he was a foreign exchange student. Why don't you explain?
Yeah. So he was so our school did a foreign exchange program. He happened to be one of the foreign exchange kids. I was also in swim, water polo, like all that. They had a PE program, and he happened to sign up for the PE program because he was like, yeah, I want to be a swimmer. But he came during like water polo time, right? So we ended up later convincing him to do some water polo, but he originally went into the class for swimming, right? And it's so funny because like I totally remember just like hearing like, oh yeah, there's a German kid. Everybody talking about him, right?
So let me ask, did he kind of get bamboozled? Because I would think if you say, well, I'm going to study abroad in California, like that would be sick. But then did he know that he was going to study abroad in like Central Valley, just like There's no palm
That's
trees.
so funny you say
No,
that, Caleb.
like beautiful blonde women. You know what I mean? Like the ideas on the movies,
100%.
not there. You know what I mean? Like you're just in the
100%.
terrible farmland with a bunch of other people that hate it there.
That's what is so hilarious about it, because he was like, when we ended up becoming like our whole friend group, shout out Dom, Josh, and all of them, because we all became friends with this kid, right? And because he was a senior, but he was our age, because it was like the way the foreign exchange program worked, it was just brought up like young kids or whatever.
Like Germany just has better education, so it's like
for sure.
2 grades ahead of us.
Yeah, for sure, something like that. And he was a kid, so he was in our age group. And it was funny because like when I first started hearing about him, I was just like, man, fuck this guy. I'm like, everybody's just talking about him because like he's a foreigner, you know. Then and then he's like standing alone in at PE, or he wasn't standing alone, he was with people, but like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna say what's up and see this vibe. Total, like the coolest fucking vibe. Like I was like, oh my god, like he's a foreigner, but he's like a fucking different foreigner for sure. He explained, he's like, yeah, when I
You're
found
making
out,
it seem like foreigners are like these bad
no,
people.
not at all, no. Well, no, like I mean, no, not at all. No, just some Brits.
Just the Brits.
Yeah, he was like, I want to be honest with you guys. When I found out that I was coming to Sanger, California, I was wondering what, like, I can't wait to see the beaches. He's like, and then I saw all the fields, and I was like, oh, I'm in a farm city. and I love that so much, because this guy definitely, I would say, experienced the California life. For sure. I mean, even though we're from the Central Valley, like I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, we're different from most groups because we actually go out and explore and see like California, what California has to offer. So we took him to the beach, we took him to the mountains, and he just we just experienced so much.
That's dope that you took him there.
Yeah, dude, because I mean, like, we're like, here, hit this pen. He's like, my brother smokes weed. He's like, I don't really smoke. He's like, I think it's dumb. I was like, dude, Mateo. I was like, come on, it's California. I was like, you got, that's how it is, baby. That's how it is. And sure enough, I mean, we would get this guy high for sure. There'd be great moments as far as like, he was such a character. We would be snowboarding and just exploring the mountains. This guy hits probably a 12-foot jump. I'm not even joking. This guy flies on some skis, bro. Flew, right? Smashed down, right? He's like, we're like, me and Dominic saw, we're like, oh, fuck. We go up to him. And he's like, fuck. He's like, am I fucked up? He's like, I don't feel fucked up. He's like, I don't know. He's like, you guys gotta look at me. And he's like moving his back. There's a fat gash. There's a fat, like, quarter-sized gash in the middle of his back.
Oh my god, what stabbed him?
Something sliced him in the snow, bro.
Ooh.
And he's like, is it bad? We're like, fuck, it's bad.
So did you have to go to the doctor?
No, bro. He just powered it out.
Oh my god.
He's like, is it bad? He's like, I don't even feel it. He's like, cause, bro, I don't know. It must have been the adrenaline because this guy flew.
This guy's a sender on snowboards, dude.
No, dude is skis.
On skis.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Dude, it was so sick. So sick.
So he's done it before in Germany.
Yeah, for sure. And so like our school continued to do that foreign exchange program. So our senior year, when Mateo left, the friendship didn't die, which was amazing. Like this guy, we would still talk all the time, and he's such a character. It's like gotta bring him into the stories when you talk about him. After he left, our school did continue to do the foreign exchange program. So senior year, we got another group of foreigners. It was 2 people from the Netherlands,
Julius.
one from Italy, and one from
That was
Germany
senior
again.
year.
That was senior year. So we're like, oh my god, more foreigners. Like I think first we didn't really talk to them, and then we're like, let's get these guys involved. Like, and now those guys are like the closest homies. Shout out Martin. Shout out Julius.
I didn't realize Martin and
Dude, I
Mateo
miss
were from
Martin and
different
Julius.
years.
Different years, bro. Martin.
But you know
When-
what's crazy is that I met Martin and Mateo.
Did see them together because when me and Dom went to Europe, and that was like a whole thing. Because like after we graduated, we were talking about doing a Europe trip. We're like
Like a senior year trip.
yeah, like this is like the senior gift. My brother didn't get a senior gift like that. Shout out or fuck you, Alex. But I got to experience going to.
I think that's like changed your brain going to a different country, dude.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, first of all, going to UCSB and seeing the world of a college life when not being in college definitely had an effect on me also. But like when I got to explore with Dom, especially one of the homies, one of the closest homies, and just experiencing another like chapter or a little section of life, like it was sick because we did this whole trip, and I mean, got amazing memories, got a bunch of stories. I mean, stories, videos, everything. Right. My only thing is like I can't wait to go back because it's just gonna be another adventure. But after for our senior trip, we just were like let's go out and see these guys. So we visited Mateo, and we got to go. By the way, well, never mind. I was gonna be like,
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, you can bring weed, but you can't. So cut this out.
Okay.
We'll bring it back. Going out and exploring the world of Dom was sick because, I mean, as soon as we landed in Germany, like it was already a vibe. Like just seeing Mateo again and seeing him in his own territory, you know.
Wow.
Like,
So what city was that?
So we landed in Frankfurt, and it was a small village. I'm such a bad friend. I don't know the village right off the top of my dome.
It's okay.
But it was like an hour away from Frankfurt, and Mateo's family, they are involved in the wine industry. So we pull up to this wine ranch, and it's awesome. Like Mateo's like, yeah, we're renovating the house right now. And he's like, I've actually been making these videos. They're called drip renovations. I would love to show you his drip renovation videos. I don't know if he would send them, but if he does, I'll for sure send it. But he would he was literally in the process of like kind of changing the setup that he has. Like the setup he has now at the house is super sick. He has like a home theater. It's like yeah, just downstairs. Like, and his brother is a skater, so his brother built a half pipe, like a small mini ramp in the wine room. So it's like or like the wine cellar. So it's like a bunch of like old wine like stuff all around this old like skate park.
And there's just a dope half pipe in there.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good
bro
setting.
I cannot wait to check that out because I did not see that when I was there. It was like I don't think he was in skating yet, but it was funny because his brother was like, hey, do you guys want to smoke? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to smoke. Like when immediately was smoking like a weed with tobacco joint.
Yeah, spliff. Yeah,
So like
out there.
like wasn't like sober. I mean, I was sober on weed right from the start, right? But then we smoked with his brother, and then immediately we're like, let's go to Amsterdam. Like, let's go see that. So the next day, we went to Amsterdam. The great thing about Martin is he's Dutch from Netherlands. Called this homie. We're like, hey, like, let's go to Amsterdam. Like, how far is it from you? He's like, it's about an hour away. He's like, you guys should come to my house. And then from my house, we'll go to Amsterdam. And we're like, for sure. So we did exactly that. And Martin, when he's seen it, he's like, wow. He's like, this is so crazy. He's like, you guys are literally seeing where I grew up. This is where I lived. And like, this is my room. He's like, I was in your guys' house. Saw your guys' things, like, and it was a trip because like
that's so cool. Yeah,
it was full circle, and we brought the foreigners together. We brought Martin and Mateo together. And it's like so sick because they're definitely different vibes for sure, but they're both just great energy to be around, right? And we go to Amsterdam. Immediately, we're like, yeah, we gotta go to a coffee shop. I buy like 7 grams, and Martin's like, what are you doing with all this? I'm like, bro, I'm gonna roll it up in one joint.
Oh my god.
Immediately he's like, no, you're not. He's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, dude, I'm from California. Watch this. Rolled those doobie, right? And
people like mix it in with their tobacco mostly.
Yeah, for sure. I just did straight. So
you just go straight
marijuana.
You're like, I'm representing, dude.
I'm representing. Like, that's the thing. Is like it was crazy being in Amsterdam and experiencing their weed, because it's like I totally expected to see like the best weed in the world. You know, it's crazy that they've had it for so long, but it doesn't seem like it's too insane. Like, I will say it's like they're probably top shelf stuff is Glass House Farms,
Autumn
Ace.
Brands.
Yeah, like it's like and like Glass House like does like the best.
It's mid shelf.
They're mid shelf, but they do the best like greenhouse grow. So that's what makes them like really good quality. It was crazy because like you see weed now in California and you're like, holy shit. Like anytime I see new bud, I'm like, man, this is alien. This is alien for sure. And when I was in Amsterdam and saw that the bud was just like, okay, it was just sweet to have weed in Europe. Okay. I posted immediately to my Instagram. I was like, first time smoking weed and it's in Amsterdam. Obviously. Lying.
But what do your parents say to that?
My mom, she just commented with the straight face emoji. My sister commented with the hand palm emoji. And it's hilarious now because it's just like I wasn't really open with weed right after high school. Like, still really wasn't. Like, I definitely was keeping it from the fam bam. But as soon as I turned 21, like, I was just like, this is it, G. I'm like, I'm gonna have to be honest with you guys. Honesty is the key for this. Like, as far as telling you guys I'm coming out of the closet with weed, you know? Like, and that's what was great is like doing that trip just made me more open for just experiencing life and just seeing reactions. So it's like my grandma Faye, shout out Grandma Faye. She calls me. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little high, but I'm making mac and cheese and trying to read the directions a little bit. She's asking me questions while I'm trying to read, and I'm like, what, duh. And she was like, Aaron, she was like, are you high right now? I was like, yeah, I'm high right now, for sure. She's like, yeah, I could tell. She's like, call me back when you're sober. And I'm like, Grandma, like, what? I was like, she's like, well, I'm trying to talk to you, and you're just like, duh, huh. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm reading right now, and you're speaking to me as I'm reading and asking me questions. And she's like, I'm gonna have to hang up. You know, she called me back later that day, and she was like, Aaron, I have the perfect job for you. And I'm like curious. I'm like, well, what's the job? I'm like, what do you think? What would suit me? She was like, you should be a bus driver. I'm like, a bus driver? She was like, think about it. Driving, easy schedule, get summers off. Easily do that. Sounds like a good time for you. I'm like, Grandma, I'm like, you really see me as a bus driver? And she was like, no. I guess you're right. I don't really see you as a bus driver, but it's a good job. And I'm like, thanks, Grandma. Appreciate it.
That's funny.
But I work in marijuana right now. and let me be in this life
Yeah,
that I'm
you
living.
enjoyed it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy because I mean, didn't think I would learn so much about weed at my job that I have, and it's sick.
So you got back from Europe, and that was like obviously a great time. You even got to go visit Greece,
Yeah,
which was an amazing experience. I bet he told me about Greece.
yeah, Greece
And
was
then
a
I
party.
went, and it was just a vibe. Best
Okay,
best place in Europe.
It was so awesome to see Caleb in Europe. Also, just Caleb was in Europe for way longer than I was. He was in there for 3 months, 3 months deep, foreign land. That's awesome. Like I was there for a month, and it felt like I was living like different lives every fucking day. And it was just so cool seeing you in Greece and just be like, Aaron, check it out. Got some octopus right now. Got some fried octopus. Because I told this guy when I was in Greece, I was like, dude, they had octopus just hanging on barbed wire, ocean views all around. I was like, I would just have octopus every day. And he was like, dude, that sounds sick. It was a good vibe.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They got octopus, and their calamari is absolutely phenomenal there too.
Fire.
Yeah, I needed to show Aaron. I was like, Aaron, I was on the waterfront, and I had the octopus and the calamari, and I was just like, Aaron, shout out you, dude. Thanks for shouting out Greece. And like that was just such a vibe, and I was like, so glad I came here because it literally is. It's a magical place, dude. It's magic. It's like you see all the old shit.
For sure.
Best food in the world.
Different realm.
Everything's cheap. Everyone's nice.
So nice. I will say I did get in a squabble in Greece. That
was with the Brit though.
No, that's why I said it earlier.
We didn't find no locals.
Dude, that's what was crazy. It was like Mateo invited us to like his like this is basically like where he grew up for like family vacations, right? His grandpa has a cool house, like a cool winery house. Actually, it's super sick.
Wow, super rich.
Well, dude, sounds
like millions. Like,
I don't know. Dude, I don't know. It sounds it's pretty good. And it was super sick. We got to chill at the house, and it was probably, not even joking, maybe like 2-3 minute walk down to the beach. So we got invited to this island that it's called Lesbos, Greece, and where the word lesbian was invented. If fucking fact check that shit, because that shit's real. Mateo was like, yeah, I've been coming here since like I was a kid, like since I was just young. So all the people in the restaurant areas knew Mateo, knew the friend group of Mateo's and the family. And also the grandpa supplied the wine to all the restaurants there. And it was super sick. There's a moment that we had during that journey where I'll go into the squabble story because go for it. It's such a good one. It's such a good one. Oh my god. So I was with Dom. I was with Mateo. And Mateo also invited his friends that we didn't meet, or like we met right when we got there, right? And those guys vibe also, like the coolest homies. Like when shout out Aaron, shout out Leonard, shout out Jess, shout out dude. It's like all the homies were Greg. All the homies were there, dude, and they're already immediate, like just cool. Like we're already just getting smashed with them, just drinking beers every day. One night we were going to this bar that we always just would go to. Yeah, every day. Like we were at that bar every night. There's a British resort that's just like probably like a mile down from that bar, just off like same row, but like not a part of the Greek part.
Right. So it's a British resort.
The British resort for sure. And there's a bunch of just British people all around. It was super cool because I mean, British babes, like it was a good time. It was super cool just to be there, right? It was hilarious because this one chick, she comes up and she was like, sits down, And mind you, like I just got out of high school, right? Like, and I was like super into diving, like doing my flips and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
So this British girl was talking to me, and she's like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, just chilling. And she was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "California." And she's like, "Oh, so cool, so cool." She's like throwing like hints at me, basically the whole conversation where she was just like, like she gets to a point. I'm not even joking. She gets to a point. She's like, "Are you looking to get lucky tonight?" Right? And I'm like, and I'm just like, "Nah, I'm chilling, just hanging out with my friends." She gets up and leaves, right? Like, and mind you, like she's like showing me gymnastics on her. Like she's like, "Yeah, I'm in gymnastics." She's like real flexible.
God is really on throwing
bro,
it
like
hard.
throwing it so hard, and I'm like, "Oh, you should be a diver."
It's like rad.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, dude, if you do gymnastics, you'd be awesome at dive, right? I'm literally saying this to her, right? And then like, yeah, she gets to a point where she's like, "Yeah, you're looking to get lucky," and I say no, right? So she gets up, walks away. I'm like doing my own thing still. She walks to Dom. Dom gets approached by her. Probably said the same exact shit. Like she's like, "Yeah, I do gymnastics."
He's like, "You should do dives."
No, but there's a moment in that day where we went to a nude beach, and Tom mentions it. He's like, "Oh yeah, there's a nude beach over here." She's like, "Oh really?" She's like, "We should go and check that out." Tom was like, "Yeah, definitely, I'm down." So it goes down to the beach, and he started making out with her, right? And he was like, "Dude, yeah, it was pretty bad." He was like, "This girl was fucking licking my fucking face, pretty much. Like it was super wet, not in a good way." And mind you, me and Mateo are just chilling with the homies. One of the brothers that Mateo, or just a person that Mateo knew previously, it was happened to be two brothers. And that was her sister. That was the sister. One of the brothers goes up to Mateo, is like, "Hey, have you seen my sister?" Mateo's like, "Yeah, I think she's down on the beach with Dom." And, the brother was like, "Oh, okay." Takes off running. And Mateo's like, "Huh, I probably shouldn't have done that." It's like, comes and gets me. And I'm like, "Oh shit, like, yeah, we should probably go and like prevent a squabble that might go down, you know?" And
Wait, how old is this girl?
So hold up.
Hold
up. Wait a minute. Let me get to this. Hold up. Hold up.
You're making it seem really bad.
I know. It's making it seem bad, but I mean, mind you, okay, foreign country, we're in a different space. Okay, the age of consent is different throughout every place. Okay, every country.
All right, I want to start naming years. 18.
No. No.
17.
Wait.
16.
Wait a minute. Wait. So Dom was on the beach, right? Making out, right? And then me and Mateo are looking for we go left. The brothers go right. We didn't know that. So we didn't find Dom, and then we were like, "Oh man, we should just go back to the bar." So we just went back to the bar. Mind you, Dom's making out with this girl, right? And figures out this girl is 15, right? Yeah, figures that out, right? Like, kind of does math after the fact that she stops making out with him because the brothers are running up and be like, "What are you doing out here?" And Dom being the guy he is, he's like, "How's it going? My name is Dominic." Fucking trying shaking their hand, and they're not even focused on him. They're just talking to his sister and just like, "What are you doing out here? Like, mom and dad don't want you out here by yourself. Like, let's go back to the resort. Let's go back to the resort right now." And the night goes on, right? We go throughout the day, right? And that was the end of it. We thought, okay. The next night, we're walking to the bar. It was me, Mateo, Jess. I want to say, and I want to just say it was. No, yeah, Aaron was there, Leonard was there. Yeah, everybody was there. But Mateo, he was like, "Hey guys, I gotta go paint the boat in the morning early with my grandpa, so I'm gonna head in." Um, he's like, "You guys can stay out here and party with them if you want." So we're like, "Yeah, definitely." Dom buys a thing of vodka and he's like, "Hey, yo, let's drink this. So we don't have to pay for the beer." And I'm like, "Bro, the beer's super cheap." I was like, he's like, "Yeah, but he's like, you get fucked up faster." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's you, G, not me." So Dom just like starts guzzling this vodka down, gets pretty smacked for sure. This guy gets smacked. Night hits, shades still on. That's how smacked you feel. And one of the brothers, we're sitting at this table. Dom's sitting across from me. I want to say Leonard and Aaron and Jess were all at this table, just sitting at the end, right? And the brother comes up to Dom and was like, "Hey, how old are you?" Dom was like, 18. And he's like slumped back. And he's like, "I'm 18." And sure enough, the brother was like, "Oh, okay." He walks away. Second brother comes up. He's like, "You're 18?" He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "If you talk to my sister again," he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." He's like, "You're a fucking nymph." And I'm like, I heard that and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I was like, man, that was a little aggressive, to be honest. And Dom's just like, "I'm not talking to your sister," like, because Dom faded, still wasn't fucking with, just chilling.
He wasn't in his right mind.
He was just vibe. Well, like, it's the next day, like we're just vibing, just hanging out. And Dom wasn't going after that chick because he realized that she was 15. But again, age of consent in Greece is 15, but that wasn't the goal when he was doing that at all.
He didn't realize.
Didn't know. And sure enough, the brother starts pressing him more, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "If you talk to her again," he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." He's like, "You're a fucking nymph." He's like, "You're a fucking nymph." I was like, "Man, all right." Sitting across from this, I'm like, done hearing this. So I take out my pinky ring and I put it in my pockets because I was like, man, I felt a squabble brewing. I felt a squabble brewing for sure. And then I walk around the table and walk in between the dude, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, listen, like, obviously he's not talking to your sister anymore, so you should just fuck off." And then Jess, big savage, he's like, "So what if he's talking to his sister? I would fuck her too."
Oh my God.
He was saying it just to get in that guy's head. It wasn't like, "Yo, I'm actually gonna fuck your sister." Well, no, it wasn't like that. But he was like, "Yeah, so what? I would fuck her too." Just repeated it again. Brother was like, "This guy's a fucking nymph." Talking over my shoulder, right?
So then, a nymph is like a pedophile?
No. So we find out later that a nymph is just a horny guy.
Oh,
just a horny bastard.
Gotcha.
You know, and we didn't know that. We're just like, what the fuck, like just fucking British. And sure enough, the brother put his hand on Jess's shoulder, and as soon as he did that, like as soon as he put his hand on the shoulder, Jess just grabbed him and like put him to the pole. That's when the other brother pushed me, and I was like, "All right, now it's time to squabble." So like I laid out, like I was like boom, 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 laid out like three solid hits. Like I felt like the first one was like the hardest I've ever hit someone. Like it just felt soft when I fucking punched through, bro.
Oh my God.
And like, mind you, like I get super low, and I'm like, I just feel like my hair being pulled, but then I feel like these Greek arms grab me and just pick me up, and I'm just like, you know, I'm like, "What's going on? Who picked me up?" And I look, and it's Dom. I was like, "Oh my God." And then the owner of the bar comes out and he's like, all the British people, get the fuck out of here. And then he's like, you guys good? He's like, shots. Let's get shots.
Fuck, really?
Straight up. Bro, my aunt calls me, happens to just call me randomly. I answer, I'm like, I just got in a fucking fight right now. She's like, oh my God. She's like, be careful. I was like, yeah, I just fucking dropped the tea back in the ocean right now. Like, I swear to God, 1776, baby. That's just how it was.
Dude, that's hilarious, bro.
Literally the next day, I'm seriously walking with Dom, and I'm like holding the side of my head. I'm like, oh man, like I think that guy got me pretty good. I was like, he pulled my hair pretty solid. I was like, man, I hope I left something on him. Like, like I hope something happened. And it was like a family night that night. And you see him walk by, and I'm like, oh my God, like, was that him? I was like, nah, like, whatever, chilling at the same bar. These British babes come up. She's like, who punched Tom? And I was like, I punched Tom. I was like, I would do it again if he fucking pushed me. I was like, he's lucky I didn't have my fucking pinky ring on. Slice him. But like, they're like, oh, they're like, why would he punch Tom? I was like, he pushed me. I was like, that's why. I was like, wouldn't have squabbled if you didn't push me. She's like, oh. They're like, respect for not using a ring. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what do you expect? I was like, yeah, did anything happen to him? They're like, yeah, you gave Tom a black eye.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, I definitely left a mark. I was like, my hair feels fine. Like now.
Oh my God.
Like, it didn't feel fine in the morning, but now it feels fine, like, oh my God. And poor guy had to deal with that. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
The next night after those girls were broken, because Tom doesn't say anything to me, whatever. Next night, we're at the same bar, and I'm with Aaron and Jess, and Mateo and Dom are back at the house. I think they're sleeping to paint the boat. When I was with Aaron and Jess, we bought 3 tallies. We were shotgunning hella with these guys. So the literal next day, I was just hanging out with Jess and Aaron, and we showed these guys shotgunning. So we were all just like slamming beers. So I bought 3 tall cans. Jess got 3 tall cans, and we shotgun them back to back to back. Full. My body is so full of beer, right? And they're like, yeah, let's go to the bar. I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm so, like, I don't think I can. They're like, yeah, you can. We'll order you a beer, but what you drink or what we don't drink, or no, what you could drink, you could drink. We'll just pour the beer and share between me and Jess. And I'm like, for sure. So they end up ordering me a beer. And then the guy, Todd, comes up to me. He's like, hey, can I talk to you? I get up, and I was like, yeah, for sure. Literally everybody was like, no, don't go. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm like I can squabble. Like, I'm not gonna deny at that moment too. Like, if he would have punched me in the stomach, I would have threw up all over him. But then I would have been ready. Like, I was that.
Then you would have felt better.
I would have, for sure. And then I would have been ready for sure. But, like, if he would have punched me then, gone. Like, in the belly, gone. For sure. But literally, everybody was like, no, don't go. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. This British girl literally comes up to me. She's like, if you take one more step, I'm going to kick you in the nuts hard. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. She's like, I already know what this is leading to. She's like, just sit down. And I was like, well, I don't want to get kicked in the nuts.
You're drunk.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't want to get kicked in the nuts. I'm like, so I sit down. And the owner of the bar sees that we're talking, comes over, and he's like, you two. He's like, you guys gotta talk. you guys come to the bar, and comes into the bar. We go to the bar and pours 2 tall shots.
Dude, these Greek people, this is why I love Greece. It's like,
dude,
this bartender just seems like he's taking care of you.
Well, yeah, because it's Mateo's, like, Mateo grew up there, so like he was like any friend of Mateo's a friend of mine. So like he's like,
what's the drinking age there?
I think it's like, it has to be like 16, 15. It has to be like cheap, like, or like, so dude, so sick. It was crazy. When he pours up the 2 shots, he's like, "You 2 make up." He's like, honestly, and he's hella shit-faced. He's like, honestly, that's what I wanted to do. He's like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. That should have never happened. I should not have pushed you. And I'm like, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm sorry I punched you in the face. Was just like, made up.
Settled it.
Did a shot, and he's like, I can't do the second one.
It's like when the king was like, dude, honestly, you guys can have the 13 colonies.
Yep.
You guys take
up.
America.
Just gave up. Dude, I was about it. I was so about America then too. I was like, I wore my red, white, and blue like tank top. I was ready. I was American out, dude, and it was like, they knew that for sure. But it's like it was crazy to experience that part of life. So
that was maybe one hiccup in Europe, but the other times,
it was just a vibe.
Just great positive vibes
the whole time. That was just just one situation. There's multiple other situations. That's what happens when you mix alcohol and moments.
Young kids. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I mean, that's what was great, is like seeing the world like that and just seeing that type of life. When I got back and, didn't do anything, I was kind of just in the Central Valley, just kind of stuck. And then I met my ex, and then she moved to Slow. And I was like, gotta follow her, like, for sure. So I followed her. It didn't end up working out, but like I got a badass job at a dispensary. So I was like, dude, I got to make this work. It is so crazy, the life I've experienced now. The timing of the dispensary
and you breaking up with your girl was like, it was like you broke up with your girl, then you got the job, and it was like crazy timing.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a bad ending too. Like definitely on my end, because it was just like, fuck that up so bad. It was crazy to kind of see that. It was like a low point. It was getting the job. Like, I was so sad. Dude, I would be like crying on the way to work, and then get to work and be like, fuck yeah, let's start the fucking day. like I was so in like a sad state when that all ended. But throughout like the year and just living the life I've been living, like kind of just single living, it's crazy. I mean, I got my own spot, and I've created like a whole different life. And I mean, I've had so many wild moments already. I mean,
now you're independent living by yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
handling your own shit at the job.
It's tough. I mean, it's so tough. It's crazy. The path that has happened, but it's like working at the job, like I said, just kind of gave me the responsibility to be like, all right, gotta be an adult, gotta save money, gotta do this, gotta progress to this. And it's like, there's definitely gonna be more to come from me, and that's what's awesome about living on the coast. Is like, I started doing like joint rolling videos, and it was funny because I went viral on Facebook, got like 500,000 views. A lot of hate comments, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, whoa. I was like, these are randoms. I was like, these are randoms talking to me weird, like this.
NPCs, bro. Weird people.
Just a different day for them.
You're right, Seth.
Just a different day. And that's what was like crazy, is even having that reach with those videos. And it went viral on Facebook, of all places. Like, I would post it to Instagram, just get like 700 views, 600 views, and then I would post it to Facebook. Like, I posted all the videos and like 1,000 views, 5,000 views, fucking 500,000 views. And it's like, it is cool to see where that is going. I've definitely lagged. I'm gonna be so real. Like I have not made any videos. I'm like out in nature, living out in a different scene. But it's just like I do have some videos planned. I just have not done it yet. You know, it's just like it's not the time yet. They'll be released. They'll be
coming.
Yeah,
and that's good, dude. I'm glad that. Yeah, that's a good thing for you to pursue because I think definitely have the personality, and I think that's definitely why I think we should just end the podcast like around here because we have like you can go on for another 2 hours. You know what I mean? So I think we need to have you on again ASAP. Like
That was a good pod.
as a part
That was a
2,
good
like
pod.
because wow, you're just a very charismatic, and I think everyone listening is gonna be like. Damn, Aaron is like you don't stutter. You don't like you literally can talk so well for so long. Like I can definitely see you
I almost
being
passed out. I almost passed out a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, just because I was talking so much, and then I wasn't on my phone, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening on social media right now?" I'm just kidding.
No, but dude, you actually did. It was a great podcast. You like literally told our entire life story up to now, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
I mean, I don't know.
You have a couple more. We definitely have more
We have
stories. In
so
between.
so much,
and you got so much more you want to do. So it's just like, yeah, everyone definitely check out Aaron's Instagram, dude. Shout out your Instagram right there.
Shout out my Instagram. I mean,
What is
am I
it?
gonna be tagged or should I? Okay, yeah. Shout out Aaron Avalos.
Wait, just Aaron Avalos?
No, Aaron Avalos. Aaron _ 33, baby.
Okay, see, well, Aaron, you have to say it. Aaron _Avalos
Yeah.
33.
Yeah.
Check that out. See all those cool videos that you made. But dude, Aaron, fuck. That was a good podcast,
Oh,
dude.
dude, I think so. I think so
I
too.
was like, man, that you surprised me so much. I'm like, you just really just kept the stories going, and I didn't even have to talk, and you were just like, I just loved it. I just think that you really just kind of shared your life, and like, just thanks for sharing, dude. Because it was a freaking great thing to hear, and just like, as you're like one of your closest friends, just like hearing it all like that, I'm just like, dude, this guy's just started out. Like he's about to explode. Like you have so much crazy moment, like all the crazy memories and good memories you've already made.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
If you've already made that, now I can't imagine what you're going to make in the future. Now that you're like actively like chasing it and like trying to keep those positive energy.
I think it's it's funny. Like again, we're from Central Valley. Shout out Sanger, you know,
shout out Sanger,
and that's what's funny is like we just grew up in a different life. I feel like than most kids lived in. I mean, same situation, but we're just went out and saw some more shit, you know?
Yeah, we always kind of
sick.
had that explorer gene in us where we just wanted to get out and just explore. Yeah,
Good time.
That was sick. Well, dude, Seth, thanks so much for being here, dude. Appreciate it a lot, dude. And
Yeah,
Aaron,
fun, dude.
we're definitely, don't you think, Seth? Like, we definitely got to have him on again just to keep
Yeah, we need
talking.
a part
'cause
two. Yeah,
we're gonna expect a
doing
part
now.
2 soon. I'm not even joking. We're gonna get him back on. Well, dude, that's my
Definitely.
best friend, Aaron Avalos, dude. And just thank you so much, dude. All right.
man.
Now we're out.
Nice.